everybody! I'm here today with a simple driving lesson on reading dashboard gauges. In this simple video tutorial, I'll be going over the basics of the dashboard gauges that you are likely to see on your vehicle. Let's get right into the video. As you can see, the majority of the dashboard gauges on this car are digital, but I mean, even if they're analog or if there's more digital than you see here, then it's gonna work for you. Let's get right into the video. I'm gonna explain it in a way that will be very universal in the way that it can be applied. First and foremost, the first thing is the tachometer. Now, if you take a look right where my finger is, right over here, that's actually the tachometer. And what that measures is the revolutions per minute of the engine. Now, my car is in park right now, so I know that I'm not going to go anywhere. If I push the gas pedal, you can see that it's going up. Now, the number that you see on there is going to be times 1,000. So if right now it's at 1, that means that my engine is spinning at 1,000 revolutions per minute. Okay? Obviously, the louder that the engine is and the more that it's revving, the higher that number is going to go. Okay, the next thing that I want to point out is the speedometer. Now, on this, like I said, it's digital, and it's just going to show a number. If it's analog, it's going to have a needle that's going to point to a number. And that shows your speed. So obviously, the faster that you're going, the higher that's going to be. So right now I'm not moving anywhere, so it says 0 kilometers an hour. But if I was driving at a certain speed, that might say 20 kilometers an hour or 50 kilometers an hour. Now, your speedometer might also be in miles per hour, depending on where you live. But where I live, we use kilometers per hour. Like I said, it's just dependent upon where you live. The next thing is the gas gauge. Now, as you can see right here, this is the gas gauge, okay? Now, as you can see, it's digital. It's got a line right here. So we can see that this is empty, this is full, this is the middle, and you can see that my gas right here is about 3/4 full. That little line that you see right there, that's the gas gauge. Now, obviously, you don't want to run your car until empty. As it's getting lower, most cars are going to have a light or an indicator telling you that you need more gas, and you should fill it up at the latest when that light comes on. And that's why they have a gas gauge, so you're not just left on the road, because your car can run out of gas, and then, you know, you're gonna have to pump in a lot of gas to get it started again. You can't just pump in, you know, half a liter and get it started. You most likely need to pump in a lot of gas to allow the car to start again. Okay, the next thing is the temperature gauge over here. Now, as you can see, we have basically it says H for hot, it says C for cold, and then the temperature is going to be somewhere in the middle there. Now, I just recently started my vehicle, so right now the temperature gauge is not even showing up. It's still too cold for it to even pop out of there, basically. It's just going to start rising up shortly. But essentially, you don't ever want your car to be at this level, where, like at the top level, where it's going to be at the hottest point, because that means that your engine is overheating. It's always usually going to fall. The manufacturer tries to make this gauge relevant so that your ideal temperature would be just below like the halfway point. If you notice it's starting to creep up higher and higher, here's a quick tip. You can actually crank the heat in the car, because that's going to draw the heat from the engine bay, which will cool down the engine. It's a temporary fix, but it'll allow you to get to a mechanic's shop. So if it starts to overheat, crank the heat of the car. I know it's counterintuitive if it's overheating, but crank the heat in the car, and it's going to suck out that warm air from the engine and basically allow it to, it's basically going to allow the engine to get a little bit cooler. Okay, now in addition to those main gauges that you see, there are some additional gauges. Right here is actually the gear gauge. So if I switch into reverse or neutral or so forth, it's going to show up on that spot right there. So that's the gear gauge. In addition, there are going to be some other lights. So right here you can see I have a seatbelt light. So I'm not wearing my seatbelt because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving at all. If I was moving, I would be wearing my seatbelt. Right here we have the parking brake, so I can turn that parking brake off, turn it back on, as you can see. And there are additional lights. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the car, okay? And I'm going to turn it back on so that the lights open up for a second. So the lights turn on for a sec. So I'm not actually starting the engine. I'm just turning it on to the point where the lights are going to pop up. As you can see, there are all of these lights, and all of these lights signify different things. You know, all the lights on this side mean different things. You have like an oil light. I can't really see my viewfinder because of the glare of the sun, so I apologize if I'm not spot on. But you have an oil light, you have a battery light, you have a check engine light, you have a steering light. There are lights that basically signify everything, okay? And what I'll do is I'll start up the car one more time. Yes, I have to do maintenance soon. I will be going in to get the maintenance done very shortly. But there is also some additional gauge info right over here, which will vary with each car. This is specific to this Honda CR-V, but every car is going to be different in that sense. But this is, I have it set to showing the actual fuel consumption. Yeah, so that's going to show you. And there's also going to be a trip meter, which is going to show you how much you've traveled in a single trip and your total kilometers on your vehicle, which in my case is right there. And that's basically it. That's basically it. I really hope you've enjoyed this simple driving lesson on reading dashboard gauges. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.